Cheshvan, Hemshchaim Beis, Chelik Aleph, Siyum HaMaimer Oasis Ukosei Tachas Ha'ilon Omed Tov Kol. Al pi anal yuvan ma shomer azal Oasis Ukosei Tachas Ha'ilon Ki'ilo, the Hemshech of the Mishnah is Kilo Aso B'tei Habayis. In other words, like as if we made it under a roof. The Hine Sukkah Bechinas Makiv. Ach, zo Bechinas Makiv de Choizer Shemeya Begilo. A Chiddush Nifla that the Sukkah and the Schak of the Sukkah, the Makiv Shebohem is this Makiv that we just completed, the Hezbollah. In other words, the Makiv She'enu Sha'aklau Ela Giloi, Ela it's the Makiv mitzad the Aliyah of the Mashpia Atzmei B'toich Etzem Atzmusei, which is moved out from any Mokeh L'Giloi Ela Makablim, and that can only be Nimshach Alidei Giloi Atzmus, Alidei Koach Atzmus mitzad the Etzem Atzmei, the Schach of the Sukkah, and the Makiv that we sit in when we sit in the Makiv for the Sukkah is a Giloi of that Makiv. In other words, that the Makiv which is moved al Legamre mi Giloi ela Makabli. And yet nonetheless that's Meir Begiloi, like we saw that that's only mitzad the Koach Ha'atzmus, that it's Meir Begiloi. And that's the Giloi which is Meir al Yedei the Schach of the Sukkah. Ukeneda the Makiv the Sukkah hu mi onon haktoidos the Yom HaKippurim. The Makiv, the Schach, is nimshach from the onon or the Keteros that the Kohen Gadol was machtir when he went into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. And from those Ananak, or from that Ananak Keteros, is nimshach the Anana Yaakov of the Sukkah, in many drushim in Tzeres. And the Ksiv Bay in that Anana, the Keteros on Yom Kippurim, Ki be'onon eiro'eh ala kapoiros. I will be seen. Eiro'eh piatzmusi. The word eiro'eh means Loshen, Loshen Noichach, referring to his etem, that the Eibishter says about himself that he himself will be seen al ha-kapoiras, al yedei the haktorah of the Anana haktorah. Shezeu shemamshichim al yedei. So how can we be mamshich azam inyanim? We saw that comes purely mitzad the koach ha'atzmus of the mashpia. Why is it davke al yedei the pu'ula the Kohen Gadol be Yom HaKippurim davke? So the Rebbe said that that's Shemamshichim al yedei atshuva miunka deliba Shema'era o mamshich b'chinas atzmus ein seif b'chinas helem ha'atzmi shezeh inyan ha'onon v'al zeh oma ki be'onon eiro'eh bi'atzmusi. So here's a fascinating further step. We just said that that's not Bekoach HaMakablim Klal Lahamshik Dover Kazeh, and it's only Bekoach HaAtzmus that it's Nimshach the Makiv of Voyer Choizer, but that's Mitzad the Mashpia Mamish. And here he says that the Makiv of the Sukkah is that Madrega, the Schach is that Madrega, and Eino Hanami does as Eiro'eh ala Kapoidos the Koach HaAtzmus, and he says I myself will be bechinas gilui v'riyo afila doot. And so how we mamshich? How does that happen? So he says we're mamshich alidei tshuva miunka deliba. That is ma'ira and mamshich or that ain't safe. How he is mitzad helem ha'atzmi, and that's the honor. Da gilui hu besukkah. So the gilui of that Indian is Besukkahs, and in a second he's going to say that really it's Mesoira al yedei shofar, al yedei the Tekiyah shofar Rosh Hashanah. It's Mesoira inyan there, but that's only Hisoiras, Hachona mitzad the Atzmas. But the Etzem Gilui mitzad the Atzmas is on Sukkot. So here we see that there is a way that the Mekablim can be Ma'era as a Gilui, even though it's not Bekoichom B'Emes, Laham Shitova Kazeh, it's only Bekoich HaAtzmus. But we have to say that the view is that the Atzmus, when he sees as Aveda, what he calls here Tshuva, Miyumka Deliba, then he answers that with the Indian of Koyach HaAtzmi in this Iskalas the Makif of Choyza. So Atzal Tashayla, what's the Indian of Tshuva Miyumka Deliba? What's it? Kilo the Nakuda that arouses and is Ma'era Ayinim, which is not really Mitzad Kol Kloli Gilui Shayach to Gilui. So we have to say that the union of Tshuva Mi'umka Deliba is what's Mavua. Matter of fact, it's Mavua in the Hemshech of Samaches, as a matter of fact, it's a shot to this year. The Rebbe is, when I say Samaches, I mean Tovrei Samaches. That the Rebbe, the Machaber is Mavaya over there, that there's what we call Kola Pnimoa Deloya Shtamo. There's an inner voice within the Koyach HaLeiv, which is not, it's so pnimi that it's not heard. In other words, it's a call which ain't a bo begilui. And then he says that there's a kola deshtamo, and in kola deshtamo there's like two madrodi, a voice which is heard, or then there's a voice which is heard by Isis Atibu, but that's a voice which comes b'tzimtzum b'akbola lefi kloli agilu lefi slapshus in the OCAs, and then there's a kola deshtamo, which is more like a kol poshut, how they call it, a tzaika, or a bitui laloi oisius b'miyuchad. And that's what should be going on now, but the amazing thing is you don't hear it anyway. But al-Chaponim, there should be a lot more than that going on. But anyway, that's what we call but that's ba'abakol. At least it's audible in a initial call. And then we have what's called Kola Pnimoa Deloya Shtama. So Kola Pnimoa Deloya Shtama is also got in itself two madregas. One is that he's not able to give it out. Although upon him he feels like a form of tzaika pnimius, like as if he's shraying over the tuikif of the instructions and his pilots of that reaction. But toichoi is that he can't really get it into a tzaika begoloi. Although upon him there's an effort and a kilo a halgosha betoichoi that he would like to be toek, or it comes in a form of tzaika. It's noticeable v'chulu. And then there's a kol pnimah the lo yishtamo, what the whole etzem of the mensch moves, literally the whole inner heart moves, the pnimis alev mamish. But that's so pnimi and so miyuchad with the etzem of the adam that it's not really noticeable afilo to the observer in any way that he's really shraying his pilots, because these pilots are so profound that the killer takes him over in a way that he's just not able to. And on the contrary, that's a sign that there's been a tazuza ba'atzmius nafshe. And that's called kola pnimoa de lo yishtama in the madrega bay. Which means that the whole etzem of the mensch is so affected, and he's so moved and nizos me'etzem mekoymai that he's just not able to. So therapy, the well taught pisco, we say on Shabbos, we say befi sholim tisreimon or sifsei tzadikim, we say tisporei or shein chasidim. Tiskador v'kerev kedoshim tisalo. So one said from Rav Abba, on my mashpiyot, Megisot, a ganze Seder, So you just walk in, take an iron bait. I said, there's plenty of them. There's, you shouldn't just walk in at this hour of the night, though. However, but you just walk in and take an iron bait. So Rababa was masbir. That's like a whole series. And later, I found it in a sefer. I found not in a Chabad sefer or beer a sefer from Pisgomim, from Gedele Talmidei Amagid, but not tried to get a Chabad Davkir. That Bifi Yishorim Tisroima means that in the mouth, yeah, but their mouth is working. And then Basif said Tzadikim is a higher madrega. Tzadikim, at least the lips are noticeable. But when you get to Kedoshim, to Emes Kedoshim, to those who are mamish, dveikim in etzem elakus, or even that they're nikoim kedoshim, bekerev kedoshim tisala. No, you don't notice anything. Don't says to go on. Everything's just tatlis hahelim. Dafkim mitzad the goydel hanagia beetzem atzmusi from the modern. And therefore, why is he in as a matav? Because he's a kodesh. He's be'emes lamita. He's dope and how do you call it, makusha, kol etzem atzmusi in elakus, and therefore you don't notice shum simon me'avidosai. That's what the Rabbi means. That Dafki, when the tshuva is me'oim kedaliba, and tshuva irritates that actually the mensch is not, how do you call it, loi nichalei b'matove. I mean, that's the closest Indian of tshuva, that he wants to get out of the matzav shaboy who nimtza, and that can be in different leifanim. When it's a Indian which is nogel or b'kol etz matzmusik mami, even that he's not even able to give it out. I feel him the take a pnimi. It's kilo teifus. So you say etzem ha'atzm mitzad goydel ha'shinui be'etzem matzmusik. That's Yishlem, what the Rabbi means. That's the Amitis Aveda of Tishrei. That's Ma'ira, Lamaila also means Sotah. As if it is purely Mitzadeh, the Etem, it's not shaykh to any Giluim, it's not shaykh to all the clothes. I feel in Giluim Shalamaila Mishtal Shalas, it's not shaykh, but it's only Mitzadeh Etem. That's the form of what you might call midah keneged midah. When the mensch is in tshuva, mi'um kedaliba, in that oifen, then he causes l'mayla also as amintzot inyan, what the etzem moves itself in a way which is not shaykh called kloli hagiloi, and therefore it's called eiroeh. I will just be there. I'll just kaviyachol move from my state of helem ha'atzmas into Golet. In other words, that all the klolim will just change, and let's say we don't see the atmas, it totally it was the other. That's the union of Anana Keteiras, and he said the gilui from them is besukets, meaning that it's heipuk mikol klolia aseda of gilui. V'zesha kosu Tiku b'chodesh shoifa b'keseh liyemcha geinu. Dalidei tkiya shoifa mamshichim b'chinas atzmas ein tzei. In other words, what's arrived from that pasuk that we're mamshich atzmas ein tzei, that al yedei the inyan for tkiya b'shoifa, we're ma'ira the inyan from keseh. What is going on? That keseh, it's got different pirushim to it. One of the pirushim is the miloshin kisui vehelem. In other words, that madrega in elakus, which I feel the lagabi lamayla miyishtaus, is also bekeset muchlat kisui vehelem lagamri. Or that is nimshach into gilu. It's al koponim misoirer al yedei the inyan from tikuba b'sheifa. And when is that? B'chodesh. It's one of the famous. Bil Bezer Chodesh indicates the union of Chichu, Maasechem, Chichu, a new man. You have to be kilo Misera, Vishachis Gemura Be'atzmacha. And then you can be Megale, or Al Kaponim Mo'ira, Bishor Shei, that union, Mamshich Bechinus Atzmas Ein Sei. In other words, that union of the Machif Mitzad the Choizer, which is purely Mitzad the Atzmas, not shayach to Gilui Klal. וזה עניין בניין המלכוס בראש השונה שממשיכים מבחינת העצמס ליש רוצן למלוכה, והוא עניין המלך הקודש, המלך הקודש שקודש מצד עצמו, והוא בחינת הלם או העצמי שסוסום ביתר. In other words, that's the union of the Madrega, the Makif, the Choiza, mitzad the Mashpir, well, that's Sosum Bietzim Mashpir Mamish. Amamel said the Rebbe, that's the union of Binyan Hamalchus. Binyan Hamalchus. What is going on? That on Rosh Hashanah, mitzad the Goydel Siluk and the Goydel Istalchus of all the Eiras, from all the Kelim of Kol Seide Istalchus, that Malchus is Nisha in an even von Nakuda Bilvad, the Inyan von Nakuda Achas Tachas Ayesayid, but that's not on Rosh Hashanah. That can also be Bismanim and Boifanim Acherim. But on Rosh Hashanah, it's in an even von Tachas Pshitis Bezer, it's Nisha Mamish, Inyan von Nakuda Kiste de Chayusa, Inyan von Nakuda Sachayas Bilvad, Al Kol. Ho'ilamas kulam, the kilo, we have to be mamshich, the whole tainug, we come over in these Maimonim, the whole tainug and the whole Inyan Shalamayla, that there should be the Inyan van Rotzen, Lamalucha, there should be the Inyan van the Chayfet Zavaya, Binyan Amalucha, that's called Binyan Amalchus, the Hainu, that the Inyan van Malchus should become a Sphira Shlema, Bechol Sphires, and it should be mashpia into the Eilamas in an even from Eilam al Milui, al Milui Nirav, Misnahig, v'chula v'chula. So what does he mean that the Binyan and the Malchus mamshichim b'chinas atzmas, the Aliyah is rotten l'malucha, and then he says that's in from Melech HaKodesh. We have to say that in every Inyan there's the Chitanius and the Pnimius Hadova. In other words, that what eventually is Nimshach, Al Kol HaYomim Kulam, that's the Inyan from Chitanius HaMalchus. Our Malchus is Manik, it's Kol HaOilam. But it's one on the famous deal from the Rebbe. It's brought down in several places where the Rebbe said that if you look carefully and it's a Dova HaBoilet, I mean, you don't really need to be told to look at it. If you look carefully in all the tefillahs, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippurim, all the Lashenas and all the tefillahs, Bein b'Shachris, Bein b'Musaf, Bein b'Shemanasa Harogil, or Bein b'Hamusaf, all of them talk about the Inyan from Giluim Deleosi. All of them. If you look carefully, you'll see the whole thing is only talking about how will be the Gilu Le'achrei Eskalas Malach Mashiach. I mean, it's just full of it. All the little shaynas of the David. The Rebbe said that's because the Ika on Rosh Hashanah is the Amshacha of Pnimius HaMalucha, not just Stam Malucha, or the ultimate Pnimius of the whole idea of the Malucha. In other words, if Malucha is Davkir, it has to be, you come to the wrong, you have to go there, my son. In other words, that the Inyan of Malucha is that Ein Melech B'Loyom, and that there has to be the Inyan of the Nivroim, and the Nivroim have to be Davke Mudolim, and they have to become in an Eifer from Oilamas, B'Pashtas, Inyan from Yesh, B'Chulu, but that's the Inyan B'Lizer Lo Shaykh Malchus. And that's the Inyan from Malchus, Ein Melech B'Loyom, that's the Seder of Malchus, and in that Gufa there has to be a bittul of the Am El HaMelech, and Ali Dezei Mekablim Chiyuson, etc., Kiyudu, the ganze Hezbollah in there. However, what is the ganze Tachlis? The ganze Tachlis is it should be Dira Lois Bara Betachtoinim, that the whole reason why there was a Malucha was that there should be the Dova Ha-Nivdal, there should be the Inyan from Oilam Kipshute, Mekablim, Malchusi Shalamelech, but even Shal Rotzen, they should be Bepinimis Atzmusam Botel, Inyan HaMalucha, Ali Deizeh, they can become the medium and the kelim through which it will be Dira Lois Bara Betachtoinim, Mamish, and then it'll be all the things that are written in the Tefillos over there, V'yeh Kol Po, Ki Ato Pi Alter. V'yovin kol yitzur, and all the other. You look at all the tefillas over there. V'loichal kol ha'orim kulei b'kfei dercha, v'hoifa b'hada goyinu zelcha, kol yeshve, tevel atzecha. What did you do? I mean, the whole thing of it is the Iskalas. Yeah, the Iskalas of Mashiach. The Iskalas, yeah, of Etzem Elakus Lamata, until the whole Bria is only Yeda Kol Madreiha, Lefi Inyona, Keato, Menet V'Atzmas, ain't saying. And Mamela, that's what the Rebbe means here, that the meat is in it on Rosh Hashanah, is that the Indian from Atzmas, yeah, or he becomes HaMelech HaKodesh, not Stam Melech. No, the meat is Kedushas HaAtzmas, or that'll become the balabos over the Nivroim, how they are, and even from Mekablim, Mi HaMalucha, Mamela, is for Tverna Amshocha Pnimis into those Mekablim. Yeah, because once the meat is in from Atzmas, is Miskala, then even though there has to be the Indian from Tatoinim, in order there should be a dira over the whole, what you might call, Mechitza HaMavdelas between the Atzmas and the Mekablim becomes potter. And that's the meat is in from the Melech HaKodesh. Now, Mamela, that's the Pu'ula of Tkiya Sheifa. And how is that Shayek? Davka Al Yidei, what he calls it, Tshuva Miyumka Deliba, the Mekablim lose their own Indian from Metzias Atzmo. The Kol Inyonim is that they shrein Metazah Gishrei, there's even a Kol Pinimod, the Loyish Tam Klal, that we want Atzmis now. And that's what's built in moving Klal. The whole Jewish people is the most terrible threat of its whole Metzias. And people just walking around and saying, mention Canada. The same Kugel, and the same, the same Minyonim, the same guilt from the Roshoyim, Harurim, who like to sign and Keshen, and we get right. Shalom Adesah. I just can't understand. But to be massing. Oh, well, upon him, Nish Das is Pnimis. Nish Das is what the Rebbe means. Yeah, Mamshiru, B'chinas Atzmas, Liya is Rotten L'Malucha, and Ali Dei Zer, where the Melech HaKodesh, Mitad Atzmi, yes, Hu B'chinas Helem O Atzmi, Shusosu, B'etzem. That's the whole Indian from Rosh Hashanah. And that's who the Bittul, Pnimi, or the Mekabel, like we said, Kol Pnima, the Rosh Hashanah, that's the Shofar, that's what the Shofar really is. Now those Kufi, the Indian from Atzmas, that he makes it, that Kol can never be heard, Ali Dei Shofar, Chodshim. Help me does, even though it can't really be heard, mitzad etzem minyonah. And he said, Mamshichim misham horotzen l'malucha ali dei tkiya sheva shehu inin kabolas eomal hu shamayim uteshuva. In other words, from there where Mamshicha, that Indian becomes a Indian from Malucha Bapoyo, with the ganze Pnimis HaRotzen and the Pnimis HaInyan, and it becomes a Malucha Bapoyo, through the Inyan from Tkiya Sheifa, well, that's gotten itself to Inyanim, Kabbalah Sel Malcha Shemayim, Uteshuva. In other words, Rosh Hashanah, even though you don't talk about Chet for Oven, when Ochazov Inyanim, you're not even allowed to mention it, of a Bilti Shum Sofik, that the Ika Inyan of Rosh Hashanah is Tshuva. One of the Ika Inyanim Shaboy. So it's like we saw the Sanandra saw Tshuva. It's not a Tshuva anagir to Inyanim which have been Nivgom or Nivgemu Alidei Dwarim built to him. No, this is a Tzaika Pnimis at the Etzem Inyan, what the Kinyan and what the original Kaviocho Heskem between the Shomas Yisrael and Elikus was. Dahainu Yeda Kol Po Kiato Pialto. That the Ato, that becomes a Yediyah Pnimius, Ato Atzmus, becomes Yediyah Pnimius in the Neshama. But that's what happened, the famous story, when the Maggid wanted to have the Alter Rebbe on the bima, besides the Tkiya Sheva, and all of a sudden he looked around, he saw the Alter Rebbe is not there. Just before the Pesukim of Tkiya Sheva. So the Maggid said, where's Zalmanu? Who is there? So they said, yeah, so all of a sudden somebody said, and they called the Mama Daka that they saw him in the room down there at the end of the passage. So immediately the Maggid said, go there and get him, and bring him up to Bima. So the Shaliach found the Alter Rebbe in this room, and he found him stretched out on the stender on the floor. From the mouth. That he and the stender were b'pishut yadayim v'raglayim ala richpo. And he was sort of muttering in a cold mama dache. He was saying v'yed kol po kiyato pialto. Chazering over v'yed kol po kiyato pialto. And the Alter Rebbe wasn't able to remain in a normal situation. He was gegangen pishut yadayim v'raglayim ala richpo mit der stender. You know, it's well known, the famous Pisco. But the Alter Rebbe said that he downs mit der Stender, weißt du. That's what this guy found, whoever it was. Yeah, so he said, what he kind of do? Here he is, b'pishut yadayim v'raglayim, and he's completely in another. Yeah, is he going to get him on the beamer? You know? What's he going to do? So he bent over and he called in the Rebbe's, the Alter Rebbe's, and the Rebbe. Yeah, the Rebbe ruft dich. He said to him, the Rebbe is calling you, meaning the Maggid. So like the Alter Rebbe straightened up like a like a spring. He sprang to his feet and he said, you know, whereabouts? I said, over there on the beam. And in a few seconds the Alter Rebbe was up on the beamer. So we see what it means. Ja, der Herr, was ist die Kasse zum Rebbe? In the middle of Atopi Alta, he was immediately there. The ganze Sippo bedover. Auch upon him, what comes out, if he said, or that is it, the Amshocha von Rosh Hashanah is Atopi Alta, Yeida. You know, in the idea of Achmius, in the Pnimius, she'atopial, the Indian from the Malucha, this with the Pnimis, in Yana, Achmus ain't safe for Nimsham. Into the Indian from Svira Samal was Tira Betatoniman. The Rebbe saying, Atkari Kachra, I once saw a Sikha from Rebbe Sador. One of the areas that the Rebbe says, if he said, we come to Yom Kippur, that's even higher in a way than Rosh Hashanah. We talk about Chait V'Yor and all this. Rosh Hashanah ain't allowed to talk about L'chara Yom Kippur talking. And here we say Al Chait. So the Rebbe said that one of the inyanim of Bazeh is that it could be that there's certain things that haven't been fixed up yet. So you've got to clean up the backyard. I mean, you've already made the ganze Kinyan or Atzmi. Ve'ein's man, if even lo yakshav ve'im usai, it's already the end of the whole of Shana. It's a selsi be'chukum betatlis ha'ilui. No, it's chilosim ve'sa'ifan. You got to get it all. Maybe there's a few things that need to be got right, and the fact darf to stellen, even from tikkun, I feel that dvarim hanivgomim, dvarim ha'pegumim, v'chuli. But not that etzem madreges Yom Kippur is only that. And that's what the Olina with the Rebbe Rashab once had the argument with the Ingelad when he was Kavioho, when he was young. Why do I say Kavioho? Because the Rebbeim said about themselves that they were never young. Where's it from the Ma'as? He said the Olina for Yom Kippur is etzem mataynu gilia taynu ga'atzmi, in a form of Tainuk She'ein Kamoyo, and daytime the Chassidim Tainuk, but it's written Inu is nafshe, there's Inu von Inui do at some place. You have to have Inu von Inui. And the Rebbe said, no, the only of Yom Kippur is Etzem HaTainuk. There's also a mass, what's given. And they went and they asked the Rebbe Marash, I think it was, they asked it someone, I forget how it goes. Rebbe Marash, I think it was. So the Rebbe Marash said that, it depends on where you hold, If you hold with Pashta Sahinian, then in order to get to that Madrega, has to be in an Inu. You have to go through a certain Shlila. You have to be, Inu is Nafshei Seichem. But once that Inu is already, that's only a medium of Tukum to Azam in Sotinian, Tainuk Deliosi. The Alter Rebbe writes it in Lakut Torah, one place. המאמר Yom Kippur is עוד יותר מזה באמת. לפי זה kommt that the whole inner of the Al Chait on Yom Kippur, well, that's like a shleimus of what you might call of putting everything in its right place and cleaning out the backyard, making sure that everything's Masuda, V'tachlis, aber nicht das, the Atzmius Amadrega of Yom Kippur will come over. Ella im Kain, we teach the word Al Chait in the Hasidic teach. Chait means, how do you call it, a chitui, a cleansingness. And what you thought you were clean up to now, you got to realize that there's a much higher madrega in cleanliness in certain Drushei Chassidut. And the Fah says the Rebbe, "V'chein alidei tshuva di Yom Kippurim." Well, for now it's much that the tshuva in Yom Kippur is very, very high. Gora ahoy chazak, shezeh inyan bakese, ma shemechusa v'nela bieta. Well, it's not just, as they say, klappen the Al Chait. The Yom Kippur is tshuva, like we saw in the Indian from Aliyah's Etzem HaNeshama in the Kabbalah's Pnimius HaMalucha, the Indian from 8 say how he is in the Machiv De'er Cha'izah. V'hagilui, it is still in a form of what you might call, it's kilo munach bakufsa. We've already reached these madrigim. We've been mo'er these inyanim. But the gilui of those inyanim is l'yem chageinu. It's one on the taich. Yom is gilui, chageinu gate of sukkahs. L'yem chageinu. So the gilui, dafki in the chag hasukkahs, it becomes a inyan from gilui of that sosum v'nel and bieter. Becomes, even from Gilui. So the Rebbe said, the Beschach HaSukkah u'b'chinas Makiv, that in the Inyan from Sukkah it's still bentayim, not Gilui, but even Shleimus HaMuvan from Gilui, because it wasn't really niklat in the Mekabnim. It's still in Inyan from Makiv. Ve'alidei adalad minim shebalulav nim sheb'chinas pnimiyah. V'chamesh HaKosav u'lekachtem lochem. You take the whole Inyan lochem, it becomes your Inyan, and nimshach to you b'toich pnimis hamekablim. In other words, that machi for the sukkah, the pu'ula, the dalad minim is to be megara that in the mekablim. If I remember that whole pnimis v'atzmis of the malucha comes down begoloi in the mekablim al yedei the dalad minim. V'yaukein, aber mir das Kor auf so Pellet gesagt. Elim von Zuckes ist ein la Meile himena. Das ist doch manchmal Atzma. And die ene von Darat Minim ist die ene von der Abschaffe für Misere, beträgt Pnimis Order. Ja, mehr hanging possibly be that it was Chagasukes. Particularly how it was by the river, the Menschen haben getanzt, ganze Nacht in the streets of Chutzalor. Metal Inyanim, a Dayan Ben David, Loi Bizkalas man. I can't say a Dayan Loi Bo. Bo, Mustam is a shit Bo. Das sind nicht Mohlen. Kannst nicht verstehen. Yeah, okay, says the Rebbe, due to that, I mean, I could have maybe what to say about Rabbein Kana Mochen Lahari, Binyanim Meilu. Therefore he says, yeah, okay, Ha'isa Sukkose Itachas Ha'ilon, Ki'ilu Asor B'techa, Habayis V'chol. So the Rebbe said, Favuish, wasn't this good? Ha'ilon, it's also a Makiv, Ha'ilon, Ramazolotan. The Ilon, as who Gamkein, Makiv. אבל זהו בחינת מקיף דאר יושע. ואין זה המשוך האמיתי is the מקיף דסוכר. In other words, the Elon is also a Makiv. Wie bald is a Makiv that is Mechuba, Karke, and it's only the Anofim, Mechuba, and Misneifofim. Al Binyan Asukah, Mechuba, with the ganze Bier. And there's also some Drushim incidents, but they bring this whole in, and they touch Al Pikabala, the Inyan van Elon. That's a Inyan van two names or two shamas of the Eivish of Mechuba, but they're all shy to were Seder Hishtalshel. I have a Seder Hishtalshel it's a makiv. That's what the Rebbe teaches. It's a makiv, but it's a makiv which ultimately in Yonah is Gilui bi Seder Hishtalshel. Therefore, it could be a sukkah, but it's not. For certain levels, it's already a sukkah because it's a makiv, and it didn't come yet by Pnimiyas, and it's going to come by Pnimiyas. So I mean that's what we just said happens with a sukkah. So he said it depends what sort of makiv and what sort of Pnimiyas. We're talking about our makiv with the mitzad the etzem, not shy cloud to the whole inyan from Gilui, and I hope he can come. There's a inyan from only because ha'atzmas, and like we saw in the koyach ha'atzmas shebe'odam. It can design, but the original shaila was that was put down both in the Gemara and in the Medrash that Alidei what Avraham Avinu was makabel the malachim and who imer aleim tachas o'eit Alidei zeh he was zeicher lazare the inyan makiv the sukkah the schachas sukkah. Das ist doch gewesen Ailon. Lama lo tov gam shvilenu Ailon. So that's what the Rebbe says now. V'einja amshocha amiti is the makiv to sukkah. V'rak lemalachim for angels hoya maspik sukkah kazu. Liyesh the malachim hein bo'elam habriyo. Yeah, Isis Maximal speaking there in Olam Habir. I also in Olam HaYitzira. Yeah, v'alkein b'chinas ha'makiv the Yosha. Yeah, hu b'chinas sukkah lohem. The inyan from Olam Habriya is already how all the inyanim mitzad helem ha'atzilas v'helem ha'mayla me'atzilas, albeit alidei tzimtzum mesuyam, they've already come into Gilui. Yeah, that's already the inyan from Olam ha'nifrodim, but they're inyan shel Gilui. But there are Gilui which is mitzad ha'seider mesuyam. And we're going to see in the coming Maimah that even those amshochas in Seder Yishtalshelas, which look to be low, legamri Yishtalshelas, yet I know the inyan Lamaila mi Chokma into Chokma or Malchus into Olam Habriya. It's all Seder Hishtalshel. It's all inyanim with even the what you might call the dilugim sheboi, and the dilugim sheboi is also really shy to a Medida Bereish Kol inyanim called the Rotzon of Seder Hishtalshel. And therefore, he said since the inyan from Malachim, they are also their inyan is. So of course the Hagbola from Olam Habriya, and that's where they're really shy at, and they're shy to the whole inyan from Hagbola of the Olamas. Yeah, therefore their makif is a makif which is shy to the Hagbola of the Olamas b'derech Hishtalshel. Yeah, therefore it's a makif, but it's a makif b'miktas. It's not a makif amiti. Yeah, therefore it can be a sukkah lohem. Avo gabi neshamis. Inyan HaSukkah hu amshochas ha'makiv te'er chayzer davke. But by neshamas, what the neshamas there, makiv v'sheres mamish in the atzmas, yeah, and neshamas are mamish, yeah, how do you call it? They are the bani matem la'Hashem alakechem v'id l'mayla mitzeh. Yeah, and mamira, their sukkah can only be mitzad, yeah, the atzmas, yeah, and the yochelis, and the koyach ha'atzmas, to be Megala such a madrei like we saw the mitzad kol haklolim, it can't really be Mizgala. And how can you get to that? Only Ali Day that the Avodah was in Azar Atzmas mitzad the Odom, and that reached the inyan von Atzmas that is Lamaila, and therefore mitzad in Yonei sheberot v'ratzoinei b'pnimis hamalucha and dira v'tatoinim, therefore he gives it Lamata. Therefore he said Gabi Neshames. It's another makiv altogether. The kasha was that we learned it already from the whole Ma'aseh with Avraham Avinu. Not we learned it, but we said it was in that schus. It's in that schus. But Avraham Avinu did such a thing that later his zera was zeicher to be given a mitzvah like sukkah. The mitzvah sukkah ubeschus. It came as a schus from the hisha'anu tachas ha'eit that he said to the malachim, take a rest under the tree, and that's the inyan from sukkah. We call mokim harizeh lamayla harabei. He said the way it is mamish by neshamas is really a lot higher than what it actually happened by the malachim. Mamela was it's a schus. It's not an inyan from that is oisa hamadrega. In the schus of Avraham Avinu, it was toirech esatzmei, and it's also brought down that he was mamshik for the malachim. Alidei klolos inyan. Well, that's once again an interesting shot to this week's parsha. So we see how, whether we want it or not, we always seem to meet up with something from the parsha. Philly floods. Whenever we look, we always seem to run up against something in the parsha. Hishanu tachas ha'etz when they come to that's this week's parsha. So it's brought down in Citadel. Avraham Avinu was mamshik into the malachim as alidei, that what he said to them, Hishanu tachas ha'etz v'chulu, as ochinyonim, which is l'mayla harvi, the madrega amitias. So therefore we could take those at a touch b'schus. But since Avraham Avinu was also megala to the malachim minyonim, which are l'mayla harvi and the madrega. In other words, he was mishtadel. They shouldn't just be mistapik, as you might say, with that matzav. Therefore, he was able to be megala lazarui. A madrega which is also l'mayla harvi. It's over in from ein aref. It's not pe'erech, and therefore it's only b'schus. But b'schus is just a inyan from zikui and maila. It's not a kesher of the two madregas, one with the adam. Mikol mokim hadezem l'mayla harbe. V'al kein oasis ukosi tachas ha'ilon ki ilo asor b'techa habayis. Yele yesh zo makiv de eriyosha ha'shayach legilui uba lidei gilu. What's the inyan from bayis? It's also brought down and said bayis is the inyan from makiv. Bayis is a makiv ala adam. Now then, come places and consider this a makiv which is shayach to gilu. It's a makiv ala adam abal chaponim. It's shayach legilui. And that's the inyan from the makiv that we're talking about here. Was Shersha is in the inyan from eriyosha. Therefore, if you make under an elon, then it's the same inyan as if you made it mamish in the house. Ain't have the bein zealous there, but because it's mamish oisa hamadrega. This is the same inyan of a makif, albeit, but a makif hashayat toish ta'ushlas. The yesh zeh makif de Yosh hashayat legilui ubo lidei gilui. So what does that mean? I mean, the makif of the sukkah also ubo lidei gilui. Of a nisht the seder of the kloli hagilui. Therefore, the Rebbe says hashayat legilui ubo lidei gilui, meaning mitzat the kloli of gilui itself. Ve'ike inyan as-sukkah ושהמקיף דרך חויזר שסוסם בעצם הריזה בו בחינת גילו. Those are the inyan of the Yitzchak HaSukkah. So, קיצר, מקיף דרך חויזר הוא שאדרבה מסלם בעצם או בעצמי מפני שהוא הלם בעצם. In other words, it's those inyanim how adaraba the mashpia is malim those inyanim b'toich atzmei, and there inside the mashpia kufa those inyanim which oile behevach inyan ayolida b'toich atzmei o kemoy akeitz shenira adaraba ha'hefa. Isn't that amazing? I mean, isn't that exactly what we're seeing? We're holding by the cage, and what we see exactly a hofuk gomer, a chmonin in front. Hofuk gomer. Take the whole world, and the Jewish people, take the whole Jewish people, offer them up into the fire. So it's just unbelievable. Remember, that's what the Rebbe said. I don't know. We don't see the cage begura. We see Mavish Chmonin in front of Eva. And when you think about it, who's making a fast? A few little Mishagoyim that are called Mishachistim. They're the only people that sang a word. All the other people, Shvaim. Shtike Gemura Mufleta. All the frummas again. At least in Tel Aviv, people say to some of the Chabadniks, bring us mitzvahs, do something, bring the Moshiach. But I have a kind of medium consider kind of Nishvek Moshiach. You pick up all the Haredi newspapers, go through them, blot, achli blot, and all you find is shtus for tipshus. You won't find a word. The word Moshiach doesn't occur. Geula. full of these long, leading articles and all sorts of pilpuls and all sorts of inyonim, and I thought, one word. And unfortunately, a lot of Chabad, you just walk around a Chabad, anybody really talks about it, thinks, Maziz Mishu. The only people that's Maziz, and not all of them either. I mean, did you notice the Beis Mashiach? There's one word about it. Good. I feel the Beis Mashiach right.
Oh, they have an article.
Yeah, but they have that every week. They have it years already about the same thing. And it's in the middle, right near the end of the Hebrew section.
Yeah.
By the time you get the fire, you already dropped them asleep. When do you read the Beis Mashiach? Is it Friday afternoon? You have no koel, or Friday tonight? You get the cookerine. You get that fire, you already schlafen. Glory. A few Mishichisten. That's what sie geblieben. Verwus, weil es mir verschmeckt mit der Tumas hat sie eine. Medina means money. If I realize that's in the cage near in other words, the cage is dafke der Indian. The Indian is beteugen maspira even al lieve wie stout is beteugen hatsme man. That's the Indian from Moshe. If I remember the only way to bring it down is you got to do everything. So I mean, die called the color pnima. I've given her a shred away. Or do something. Be Meshuggah. The me based up, the Malchus based up in Yoveh Be'etzach Hadah. Oh, we'll certainly be Mekayim that. Be'etzach Hadah, nobody cares. But what he means is Be'etzach Hadah, he means L'mayla Me'adah. Look at my Mishlei Shleimai. That's amazing, that combination. Well, that comparison between the Indian and the case and Mishlei Shleimai, this is a peli digazai. I don't know, we didn't really stress it enough. But we'll basically talk about it on another occasion. Simon that the in Mishlei Shleimai liegt. Piddly flows for the New. Yeah, the Kvoisha Teva Hagilu Elis Galis, Kach Teva Helem Lisalim. And well, we're talking about those in Yoni, but they're so part of the Etzim that the whole Indian is Helem in the Etzim Kufa. Yeah, Ulamayla Yoshes Choshech Sisrei. Umizgala Ha'ora. In other words, he makes his hiding place Choshech, but there can be Mizgala Ha'ora, Magala Ha'muchis Minei Choshech. We saw that in the Machiv of Yosh. Gila Akav, Yesh Bei Me'er Einsei. That's Machiv Der Yosha. But is it Machiv Der Choize, Beginas Helem O Atzmi. Nimshach, hu sha'etzem nimshach. Matan b'seisa. Zeo Isis ukosi tachas ha'ilon pesula ki ilon machiv der Yosha. V'suke machiv der Chayze nimshach l'nishamis Yisrael adidei teshiva. But it doesn't mean tshuva. They just think, you give yourself a little bit of a sort of a dray and do this, and you think, yes, I'd like to be a bit better, and maybe you do. There it is. And the whole etzim straight. Hashem Shalom. After that will be Hallelujah Hashem Kogoyim. The next step is that all the Goyim will say Hallelujah Hashem. And it's amazing that you hear things every now and then that it's a sign that a lot of the Goyim, I don't say all of them, but a lot of them are already sort of getting into us. I'm in sort of mood, they want to know also. I heard from people who walk miles and Simchas Torah, way into Manhattan and other places to be Mesameach, over there. And you hear all sorts of little stories about Goyim that stopped them on the street, and said, hey, what are you guys up to? And they walk on singing songs, Took it to Bishkistik, they're walking along singing songs, in the street in the middle of Chaistat in Fifth Avenue. I don't know what these places are. Yeah, all of a sudden all these Goyim come around. I say, what's it do? I say, what's going today, guys? What are you doing? And they tell them about the Eibush and about Mashiach. And I say, It's just, why don't you guys tell the whole world, don't keep quiet, this is what the world needs, and it comes some Schwarzes and Goyim, dancing with them. So one of them said to me that if you would have done that 5 or 6 years ago, they'd throw rocks at you. If you go back a few years, you would have done the sort of thing in certain places in Europe. They'd maybe chuck rocks at you. They said, get out of here, Mushagoyim, and all this. Let's get on with our fun. We're having a good time here with 3 stunts of cop. But Haraya, they went past some huge in Madison Square, I forget where it was, they went past some huge musical festival or something was going on. It wasn't particular Toyim, it had a lot to do with, all sorts of Vedazaras and who knows what. And all these Goyim were coming out, looking at them, walking past, saying, what you guys, what's going on? They want to know, they wanted to hear, and they were dancing with them. So he said, years ago, if you'd gone near that place, and he would have been saying the things that they were saying, they would have come out and beat you up, or they would have chucked rocks at you. You're interfering with that. It's oh, except over here, that's what makes me so mishuga.
Over there, they're close to 770.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, but nowadays we're all close. I don't know, you didn't have to do something, I don't know what. Let's take it from here.
Amen.